On the show today, we talk about animal spirit guides. Our symbol is flowers, and as always, we interpret the dreams and answer the questions you sent in during the week. Welcome to So You Think You're Awake, the show about dreams, guidance and healing. I'm Michael Sheridan, and with me in studio is Heidi Brooke.
Hello.
Our resident medium, and Susan Pullen, our healer and life coach.
Hello.
Thanks to everyone who sent dreams to radioshow@dream-analysis.com. Please continue to send them in. We definitely need more. You can always jump the queue and call us on 425-373-5527, and we will analyse your dream, connect with your guides for advice, or you can call with questions for Susan about healing and changing old patterns in your life. That number again is 425-373-5527. And I have an online course that starts this Sunday, May 28th. I hope that I have the date right. I'm very excited about that. It's a much more in-depth course than previous ones I've ever done. It's taken me about 5 months to get ready for it. And I've done very little in the meantime. Well, he says. I'm getting ready for it. That's why I was doing nothing else. Okay, so Susan.
And do you want to give the URL for that?
DreamTrackersGuide.com. Actually, yes. So this week I finished the 3 promo videos for the course. And so they're all up there now. You can go to DreamTrackersGuide.com and look at the 3 videos and go, he's mad. Or not, whatever the case may be. So Susan, you're going to start us off by talking about a dream that we've held on to for a few weeks.
Yes.
And I know you're in rare form because you're dancing to the music as the show is starting.
I always do that. All right. So this is called Dismemberment in the Amazon. I'm flying very high over the world. There's an eagle to my left. We're so high we're almost in space. We keep flying around the equator over and over until we see something sparkle down below. We fly down towards the flash. It's like someone with a mirror signaling, and land next to the Amazon River. There's a rainy mist in the air, and it's very warm and humid. A jaguar emerges from the trees. He touches foreheads with me and then with the eagle. I lay down on the ground between the 2 of them. The eagle and the jaguar proceed to rip open my throat and my chest cavity. They then rip off my arms and legs and head until I'm a pile of body parts. The eagle and jaguar then take my body parts and put them into a hole in the earth. It's going to get better.
And you
look worried.
Picked this dream. You said, this is what I want to do, Michael.
Yes. I'll explain why. Okay, so it goes on. Mary and Kuan Yin appear. They place my body parts in the position of a human body, and Kuan Yin pours a golden elixir over my body pieces. Mary fills the hole with water, and then lotus flowers are placed in the water. The lotus flowers have a ball of fire inside them, but the fire does not burn the flowers. My body reassembles itself in the water, and it absorbs the gold elixir and the water. The lotus flowers land on each of my chakras and are also absorbed into my body. I stand up and step out of the hole, and it fills itself with earth and closes up behind me. I embrace Mary, then Kuan Yin, then the jaguar, and then the eagle.
That's a lovely dream.
Kuan Yin?
So Kuan Yin is the East Asian Divine Mother, the goddess of mercy and compassion.
Oh, I thought something like that, but I had no idea.
Yeah, so she's kind of an Asian counterpart to Mary, you could say, in a way.
Well, you just did.
I just did, and yeah. I may regret it. But, yeah, she's the goddess of compassion.
And is this like connected with yin and yang?
No, well, yes. The word yin is the feminine principle. So, but that may have more to do with language than it has to do with her. I don't know.
Okay, as you were.
Okay, all right. So I snagged this dream out of the pile because the dismemberment theme is like a classic shamanic theme. And I know it sounds a little disturbing in here, but it's really
It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
It is. It's a positive dream. It's kind of, well, I won't equate it to other symbols because that probably won't help other people.
Was Hannibal Lecter your uncle or something?
No,
like that?
no.
Father.
And the reassembling part is is important too.
Of course, yeah. Actually, no. In dreams, a dismemberment or to be cut open in a dream is positive, believe it or not, because it's about letting something in, assimilating something, especially if your solar plexus is cut open or your stomach is cut open. So yeah, it's always a surprise. Just like funerals in a dream, they're positive too. It's about a significant and dramatic change. So this dream is about a huge change that the dreamer is going to feel happening.
Yeah. It's on the order of a dream with a death, a major death, or a baby, so a baby being born, because it's like our old sense of ourselves, something big about us gets dismantled and put back together in a new way. It's like a
transformation.
Yeah, absolutely, a major transformation. And there's healing in it. There's obviously like a cleansing.
The gold elixir is very healing. Mm-hmm. And this dreamer's a healer herself, so
yeah,
the gold is good there.
Yeah, and she would be familiar with the theme of dismemberment.
So you picked this because of the connections with shamanistic work.
Yeah. And the dream also has the eagle and the jaguar. This
woman dreams of eagles all the time. The jaguar's new.
Yeah.
So eagles all the time. So she has a prophetic ability, but the eagle is one of her guides. And she's always flying with this eagle, always around the world. And I don't think eagles do that. So, especially with a person on their back.
Yeah.
So when she flies with a guide like that, because the eagle's a guide, then she has a channeling ability. And then when we see her touching foreheads with the jaguar, it works through telepathy. So she gets thoughts impressed on her mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so this dream also inspired me to talk about animal spirit guides on the show today. And then, let's see, we talked about Mary and Kuan Yin. The lotus, so we're going to talk about flowers today, too.
And this is one of the reasons we picked it. So the lotus here, even if she didn't mention chakras, is the classic symbol for chakras. And the ball of fire in them makes this an emotional thing for her, because symbols of fire have to do with emotions. But if you can see chakras, it is like they have this energy within them. It's not exactly a ball, but you can see they process the energy that's around us. And the energy that's processed that isn't used is what actually makes our auras up. So you can look at the aura and learn something about a person because you can see what's off, because what do the chakras not process. But the chakras are like, you could compare them to transformers like we would have in the national grid. Electricity is transmitted at very high voltages that would kill us, and it's stepped down at various different levels. So the chakras step down or change the energy vibration to work with the organs at that part of the body. You didn't want me to get into that, did you?
No, that's great. That's great. And
I wasn't sure if that was your critical stare or, that's an interesting thing you just said there.
No, I was just also going to add that the lotus has a connection with enlightenment.
And rebirth.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And it's in a lot of text. A lot of text I've read about rebirth and chakras. It always seems to be the lotus flower. Mm-hmm. And it's in a lot of artwork as well.
Yeah. And there's some different significance depending on if it's like 1,000-petal lotus or the number of petals.
Who's going to count?
Yeah, but oftentimes in dreams you just know.
Yeah, I know.
You just know how big it is or how many there are. Yeah. So let's see. Did we cover everything? Yeah. So this is a cool dream about, like you said, a transformation, a major shift.
It also shows her that her guides are working with her strongly, in case she was wondering. So it's saying, look, you can have your prophetic ability gives you the higher perspective, which is what getting on the eagle and seeing things from a high perspective all the time. So you can see why things are going the way they're going to go, and you're meant to use that. And then the jaguar is a very powerful cat, isn't it? I mean, one of the most. So no, it just what does it mean anything in particular in the shamanistic field?
Well, yeah, it will, but
you're not going to tell us.
I'm not, because because I think there's more value in in like meditating with the animal and getting to know it.
Like a personal affiliation with the animals.
Yeah, yeah.
So it can't be, it's specific to each person.
Right. Letting it teach you, what it's about specifically for you. I mean, you can look it up. There are lots of books on animal spirit guides and things like that. But
independence and power. Anyway.
I just keep thinking of the Jungle Book. We saw that new movie recently. Was that a jaguar in it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Bigula? So. Oh, what's his name?
Panther. Was it a panther?
No, I don't think it was a panther.
Anyway.
I just keep getting flashbacks of that because my son keeps talking about it. But I thought that was a pretty interesting movie, Mowgli with all the different animals, and they all represent something different to him. The concept of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're going to cover your piece now. And I just want to say we have a caller on the line. If she could hang on till you cover this piece, and it's going to take us about 7 minutes.
Oh, 7 minutes. Okay.
Well, guessing.
I'm
on the clock. All right. So I also wanted to talk just briefly about shamanism because I'm throwing this word around, and just give a quick definition. So it's tens of thousands of years old traditional form of accessing guidance and impacting health and well-being for individual people and also for the community. And it arose all over the world, like Australia to Asia to Africa, North America, South America, with a similar philosophy and techniques everywhere, which I find fascinating.
So is there anywhere that it hadn't reached?
Not where there were people.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And so one of the core aspects of shamanism is a belief that everything has a spirit, including the plants and the animals and the elements and even the land itself. And so shamans and shamanic practitioners develop relationships with some of these spirits so they can work together for the good of the community or for a client, say, who comes to see them for help. And this working relationship often begins with that spirit coming to a shaman in a dream or a vision, or sometimes in waking life even. And in some cultures, animal helpers could be inherited or exchanged, actually. But more often the animal would come in a dream or meditation, something like that.
I'd rather meet it in a dream than a bear in reality.
Yeah. So from a shamanic perspective, animals or even plants who come to us in our dreams may be offering their wisdom or their assistance. And I know in the U.S. we don't currently live in a predominantly shamanic culture, although certainly there were shamanic traditions in this area much further back than this country existed. But, animals in our dreams now here can mean lots of other things because we have other associations. But for right now, we're just focusing on the shamanic perspective.
And
I know
in dreams,
you have a lot more
it's
to
interesting.
add to
In
this.
dreams, it's not always the animal; it's where it is that counts.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't always say an animal means a particular thing.
Yeah. So an animal might appear in your dream to offer you their help or to invite you into like a working relationship with them. And some animal allies come to work with us in a particular way, like to assist with certain kinds of healing work, say. And other animals might come because they're allies of more of a long-term nature, like for years or even most of our life, our whole life, to keep us physically and emotionally and spiritually healthy. And they're sometimes called totem animals or power animals or animal spirit guides. And they're like the animal equivalent of our guardian angels. So in some traditions, a shaman would have just one primary animal ally. And in other traditions, they might have a whole bunch. And they might change over time. So, but the animal spirit is understood to be not simply the spirit of that one specific animal, but more like the spirit of the species, kind of. So, like not one particular eagle, but all eagles. And it's also common in dreams for animals to shapeshift into humans and vice versa. So if you were working with an animal, you might call on them to protect you or to assist with certain kinds of work. You can have an animal ally that helps with dream interpretation.
Just call me.
See, you're not always available. Thursdays at noon is not a big window for people.
Good luck getting that raven to tell you what your dream means.
Well,
sorry, I might.
You only say that because you don't work with Raven.
Is the raven's name Michael?
So our animal helpers can also become like guides for shamans who work with what they call non-ordinary reality, or like the Australian Aborigines called it, like the dream time. So it's like the world behind the world. And so when a shaman would do this kind of a meditation or go on this kind of excursion of consciousness, then the animal ally would help be like a tour guide or help them navigate these realms. And we see that sometimes. We see that kind of, well, I don't know about this particular dream of the streamers, but sometimes we see that in dreams where an animal leads someone somewhere. So, so if an animal shows up in your dream, you might want to get to know them better by doing a meditation and asking them to teach you about their nature. So that's, I think, how we get the meaning or the particular wisdom from that animal more personally, more relevantly than just looking it up in a book.
And
you
especially when people are getting into shamanic practices or they're seeing a shamanic practitioner, they will dream of animals in this regard as well. It's more common. Is that true? Or at least from the dreams that I've seen that we've kind of rotated through.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think that's true. I think that some people, different forms of spiritual practice are kind of better matched to different people, right? And some people are well matched with, they have more of a calling. Mm-hmm. On a shamanic path. And so animals might show up repeatedly in their dreams as actually to let them know that they're being called to that kind of work.
Oh.
Yeah, some people have a lot of animals in their dreams. This person always has animals in her dreams, and many animals. Mm-hmm. But we cover them a lot on the show. There are particular things, some animals will always mean particular things. Like you don't want to dream of snakes and rats. Birds are nearly always going to represent goals because they fly and you have to look up to see them. And then you have the eagle, because of the height it flies at, it is why it symbolizes prophecy. But yeah, so we have Shelley on the line. I hope she's still there. Hi, Shelley.
Oh, hi.
Thanks for waiting. You have a dream about people and a snake.
Yeah, I had this humongous snake that was following me. And then I saw some people, and they seemed familiar, these people, but then all of a sudden the snake kind of did something. I can't remember. And then it looked like it was going to attack them, so I jumped in front of them and had the snake bite me.
And where did it bite you?
That's a really good question. I think it just bit me on my head. It seemed it was so gigantic that it just bit all of me.
What did this snake look like? Was it like a healthy looking snake, or was it like really translucent?
No, it was healthy looking. It was really very beautiful.
Okay. What do you work at? Do you work in a counseling field, or are you drawn to that?
I'm in the metaphysics. I do energy healing, Reiki master. I meditate. That's,
okay.
A little potpourri of everything.
Very good. So does a snake mean anything in particular to you? I said earlier you generally don't want to dream about snakes. Those snakes are always kind of like slug looking, or,
camouflage.
Like as if they've never seen the light of day and this is the first time they've crawled out from under a rock. But when you see a real healthy snake, which is rare to see in a dream, that can be a good thing, because snakes can symbolize both a healing ability, because it comes from the catechus. That is connected with the medical field, and also to do with the counseling field, because in the snakes are in the Bible and in the Chinese astrological science, snakes are wise. So in your case, it's about spiritual wisdom, because you say it bit you on the head. So you help these people by fending off the snake. So this shows when you do something in a dream, it shows what you're able to do in reality. So helping people is your thing, as Austin Powers would say. So you're in the right field. How many people were there? It says here a bunch of people.
I think it felt like there were 4 people, maybe 5, because I think somebody went behind somebody else. I had the dream last week, and I forgot that you were on Thursdays, and when I turned on the radio and went, oh my God! So I think it was, like I said, 4 people, but I think somebody was behind somebody.
All right, Heidi, do you get anything more on this?
Shelley, do you remember anything about the eyes of the snake in the dream?
The eyes of the snake?
Yeah.
You know what's really funny? I don't, but for some reason, I was not afraid. It just seemed like it...
Yeah, because what I'm seeing is they're showing me that in the dream you were staring at the snake for a moment before it bit you.
Oh, okay.
Like, it could be an impression or a feeling or anything that comes with the dream. It doesn't specifically have to happen in the dream. But
you know what? As you're saying those words to me, that's what it felt like.
And then, so they just keep talking about the eyes of it. So you're looking for more insight. I don't know if that's a pun or not. Into the people that you're kind of counseling, and I think specifically they're talking about the Reiki is what I'm hearing. Because I feel like you're doing a counseling technique as well as the healing through the Reiki with these people.
Oh, okay.
The combination, and you're asking for more insight. Is there a term or something like when you're bitten by the snake or you're bitten by the bug or something like that? What is that term? I keep hearing something like that. But anyway, this is something that's going to help you see more in depth into the people that you're healing. You can see where they're going with things. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm hearing, but I don't know exactly what they're talking about. But that you've asked for this insight, and now this is happening for you.
I think a snake bite would induce an altered state and then death. So
but the altered
state is the key here.
Yeah. So have you asked for more of a feeling when you're doing these healing techniques, or some more insight? Okay, so that's what it's telling you, that, okay, this is now being given to you.
Yeah, you've got it. It's merged with you. With the snake biting you, it's a positive in the dream.
And then the important thing to note is, even though you hadn't had the sensations per se before, doesn't mean that your healing wasn't effective. It's still just as effective. Of course, it can always grow. But also it's telling you that, they're telling you that you wanted this, so this is happening this way, because it gives you clues that it's working. More than your intuition. But, your intuition was correct. It has been working before, and it will continue to work, but you've just asked for this, so they're giving it to you.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is, you say that about the people somebody hid behind somebody else. So this is also going to allow you to be more upfront with your abilities, so not hide who you are or hide parts of who you are. Like sometimes people are happy enough to say, oh, I do this and this, but they don't really say the whole thing. Like, oh, my invisible helpers tell me what I need to work on and so on. It's like, oh, where are you going? So there's reasons you don't. But when you get this kind of dream is saying that you're now going to have the wisdom to share what you need to share at all the right times. So it's going to help you enormously in working with people, in knowing exactly how to work with the people, even before they will, even almost like disregarding what is being said to you. It's like you get a sense that this is what I need to do, even though the person is saying this.
Get an insight.
Yes, yeah, of course, yeah.
Thank you so much. This has been very enlightening.
All right, thanks for your call, Shelley.
Bye-bye.
Take care. And we're going to take a break now. Back with you in a moment.
Do you want to be happier? You've probably already heard that happiness is an inside job. You know that it doesn't come from outer circumstances. It's a gift we give ourselves. But you're not sure how? Join me, Susan Pullen, for a weekend workshop devoted to inviting joy, passion, and play back into your life. June 25th and 26th in Edmonds, Washington. You'll learn proven tools for greater happiness, as well as healing heartache and letting go of dead weight in your life. You'll leave the weekend feeling lighter, more present, and more joyful. Go to true-radiance.com today to register for Inviting Joy Back into Your Life.
Hello, this is Heidi. How can I help you?
You tell me. You're the psychic.
That's not how it works. I am a medium. I connect to your spirit guides and loved ones and pass on their messages to you.
So why did I call? Use the force, Heidi.
Look, I can get answers to any questions you ask. That's not a problem. They can be about anything: relationships, career, children, finances, anything.
Anything? Okay. What's my favorite color?
Dave, your mom says you're being childish.
For readings with Heidi, go to angelsontheline.com.
Proud to bring variety to your radio dial. Alternative Talk, 1150 AM.
Welcome back to So You Think You're Awake with Michael Sheridan, Heidi Brooke and Susan Pullen. Our show is about dreams, guidance and healing. Our phone number is 425-373-5527. And if you tried to call a moment ago, give it another try. If you have a dream-related question, or you want to connect with your guides for advice, or you want to call with questions for Susan about healing and changing old patterns in your life. Once again, the number is 425-373-5527. So let's have a look at a few dreams. Unless anybody has anything else to say. Any more classes coming up, Susan?
Nope, I just had the ad for mine, so I'm good.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
And Heidi's involved in this dream class this weekend. That starts this weekend too.
Yes, I'll be offering my channeling services. I'll be channeling on the dreams that are sent in, and especially any questions that people have that are hard to figure out.
Cool. I'll do the easy ones. So this dream is called Giant Peony, is it?
Peony.
Peony chandelier. Of course, when you see a chandelier...
I would say peony as well.
Yeah, I think it's pronounced differently here. When you see a chandelier, you immediately know this is about channeling. That the dreamer has a channeling ability.
Chandelier, channeling.
Yeah, it's a pun. It's a poor pun. Well, there's an awful lot of poor puns. And I used to try cover them in the courses, and then people just look at me blankly.
Because they're lost.
So now I don't say it, and I just look at them myself and go, okay, yeah, there's the quick one to that dream. So if you spot colours or you spot a pun, you know exactly what the dream's about. Anyway, the dreamer says, I'm lying on a huge bed beneath an enormous one of those flowers, suspended from the ceiling like a chandelier. So when you see flowers, so flowers are symbol for today, and flowers symbolise love. So when you see the flower suspended from the ceiling and the dreamer's actually in a huge bed beneath this, it's love from the spirit world. And you don't see that too much in a dream. So it means that the dreamer has asked for that, or at least is wondering about things for a while and is getting this in a dream as a really beautiful answer. So very, very positive. And then does she say it's pink? I thought she did. Anyway, oh yeah. The peony is light pink and it's just starting to open. It's probably 10 feet in diameter. So the pink is about, it's all healing for the heart. And of course, love is connected with the heart. So it's good. And starting to open. So here it's also about the chakras. 10 feet in diameter is like a culmination. So all the work that this dreamer has been doing is now coming to fruition. And we know it's a spiritual thing because it's this huge open bed as well. So beds and dreams can be about the reproductive system. But when they're in a different kind of a context, it's typically going to be about spiritual activities, because when we sleep, we drop conscious awareness of our bodies and we do all the spiritual things that we ignore during the day. So for that reason, it could be that. For some reason, I'm planning to eat this giant flower. That's good. And I might even be carving a big bite out of it. Then a big white flower, maybe twice the size of my head, with 3 green leaves on either side, falls from above and lands on my forehead / top of my head. So we were talking about the lotuses symbolizing the chakras, and the top of the head, that chakra is typically shown as purple in texts, but when it's white, it symbolizes enlightenment. So if you've ever wondered why there's 2 colors. So that really, enlightenment is not, oh, I know the answer to everything. It's not like Highlander and winning the prize at the end. It's that you are in touch with exactly what your life purpose is, and what else would you possibly need to know in life? Know what your life purpose is, know how you're going to work with the people you're going to work with, and so on and so on and so on. And that's what it means. And a lot of people assume enlightenment has to do with like
completion of something,
knowing everything about everything, like the Buddha or Jesus or so on. But that's what their purpose was, So it's you getting in touch with your purpose and it hits a stage where everything is just great in terms of your whole body feels that you're on the right path. The green leaves here match with the pink, so pink and green is always. It's saying that your counselling skills are really coming in here now, because we see those two, and especially with the green being a gift from above, and the white and green, just fantastic colours. Any questions about any parts of that? No.
No,
I feel like I might have skipped
pieces
of it. Okay, so here's another one. It's called. Wait, we have a caller. Let's take. Who's our first?
Liz.
Liz in Edmonds.
Hi, Liz.
Hi.
Hi. You have a dream.
Yes, actually, I had a dream a few weeks back. It was well, everybody in the dream has since passed a while ago, but in the dream I was as like a teenager again, running through the home that I grew up in, and I had caught my grandfather. Like I said, he was the one that passed the longest ago.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I was, like I said, I was a teenager, a kid, and then I ran down the hall and said, "Grandma, I just seen Grandpa." But as I was going to the room that my grandmother was supposed to be in, I passed a cardboard silhouette, and the silhouette turned into my aunt, and my aunt was this, it was, she looked live, but yet I knew she was a cardboard, and she was all sky blue from the top of her head to her whole body.
Okay.
And it just kind of like stopped me in my tracks, and I looked at her, and all I thought was Grandpa, and then I woke up because it was such a realistic dream.
So, what was it? Somebody's anniversary recently? Somebody who passed in particular?
Well, yeah, both my mom and my grandmother.
Okay, so we typically have dreams about people who've passed when there is an anniversary, and it's always kind of interesting, especially if the anniversary's crept up on you and you weren't aware of it, to realise how repeatedly this happens. So it's a reminder from the spirit world that they're still present, they're still around, and you being back in your childhood home and being a teenager again, is positive in the dream and showing you that we don't stay the old people we were when we pass on. We get the vigor of youth back. We get all that, our heightened senses and so on and so on. So really the dream is just, even if you didn't consciously ask, it's an answer to the question about does life continue on and what is it like? Are you just a piece of yourself that you are here, like your aunt is the cardboard cutout silhouette, or just a silhouette, just a shadow of herself, but yet it's still her, So yeah, we do change, but we don't change as significantly as some of us hope. We don't just suddenly get major transformations on our deathbeds and so on, but we do reintegrate with parts of us that we had ignored before. So it really just came because an anniversary was coming up, and then if you had a question in your mind about life, the purpose of it, and so on, is it's going to give you that type of a dream. The idea is for it to be pleasant and joyful.
Is there any reason why my aunt was blue? I wasn't a bad blue. It's like a sky blue, like a powdery blue. But I was like dumbfounded in my dream that she was all totally blue. Okay,
so when it comes to spirituality or religion, what was your aunt like? Was she very religious, or did she ignore it? Was she?
Oh, yeah, no, my aunt was very religious. As a matter of fact, I always say that my aunt was basically as close to a saint as I could have ever been.
Okay, so
she was big-hearted and caring and loving, and I gave anybody a shirt off her back. I mean, when she passed away, there were, I'd say, at least 3,000 to 4,000 people, and she was just an everyday person, but she had touched a lot of lives. So.
Okay, so she's really happy where she is, and the blue will symbolize that, because blue in dreams can symbolize spirituality and culture, somebody's culture. So it's just something she's steeped in. And it's the colour we always see Mary in when you see a statue or a picture of Mother Mary. So it comes to you that way to show that she still resonates with that, or that still resonates with her, and she hasn't lost that identity.
Awesome.
But interesting. It's just interesting and very personal. These type of dreams are very personal, but they're intended to be personal.
Yeah, because my grandfather, I don't think I dreamt of my grandfather in like 23 years. So
yeah,
the fact that I had seen him, it was like, oh, it was shocking. And then, not shocking, but like, oh, hello. And then it was like, man, oh, hello. I mean, it was a nice thing. I didn't feel bad or anything. I just always pondered upon it because I've never had a dream like that. But thank you so much for your
All right. Thanks for the call, Liz.
Bye-bye.
Interesting that she didn't think of asking, have I passed? That's just my humour. It's not what it means. So we have Susie in Seattle as well. So we say hello, Susie. How are you?
Hi. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly. And it says here that you have a dream about teeth, which is one of the most common things we get on the show. But I think you might be the first caller that's mentioned it. So what's your dream?
Oh, my dream is I'm eating oatmeal and my teeth just fall out.
Okay. So
whole.
Teeth and dreams animals carry their young around with their teeth. If they lose their teeth, they lose the ability to raise their young. So teeth, the most common reason for teeth and dreams is, especially them falling out, is difficulty with a child. But the difficulty could be, for instance, they're leaving the nest, they're heading off to college, or some event that marks their maturing. The other thing about teeth is they can be about an inability to take a bite at life. So something is happening in life, and we have the expression, take a bite at life. So something is happening that is just a little bit too stressful, or you're wondering how you can take the whole thing on. So
that's it.
So that's the one it is for you?
That's it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see anything in that dream because of the oatmeal. It doesn't mean anything to me symbolically. But I think it would say that this is affecting you, in a very deep way, in a very strong way. So I'm looking at Heidi. She never gives me the sign to say, I'm getting more, I want to talk. So I always have to pounce on her and say, Heidi, are you...
Well, I do have, interspersed with the teeth dream is I have a dream where my hair was cut and I'm brown haired, and in my dream that I'm blonde and I have shorter hair.
Okay.
And that's interspersed with the teeth dream.
Okay, so getting your hair done, going to the hairdressers in a dream is really good. It asks you to change the way you think about something. But in these dreams, we normally feel really good after them. Did you feel good after your hair dream?
Well, not really, because I don't like having my hair cut when I don't know. But it was different. It was different. It was not bad, but it was just different. So it was change. That's what it was. It was change.
Was it changed, or were you at a hairdresser's? Like, was your hair just different, or did you actually get it changed? It
was different. It was already done in the dream. I looked in the mirror, and there I was with it done. Already done.
And do you know, did you dye your hair blonde, or was it just blonde?
Well, it was just blonde. I didn't have it dyed in the dream, but my hair isn't blonde, so. And
what I was hearing was, where were you eating? Was it breakfast you were eating the oatmeal, and
yeah,
where were you eating it?
At a table.
In your kitchen, like in your house?
At my grandmother's house.
Okay, because that's the important part. What is it? Do you mind sharing what it is about what you feel like you're not prepared for in life?
The death of a parent.
Okay. Yeah. So, and in the grandmother's house, so mother is showing up in the dream. So you look at what do you associate with your grandmother? How do you feel? Like, what are your thoughts around your grandmother?
Is she deceased?
Family, love, security, nurturing.
Yeah, so it's a place that you would associate with, everything's good here. When I go here, it's all good. So in the dream, it's a healing location because of that. So, well, you know what the dream is about. I mean, this is it. When it is our own dreams, we know what's going on in our lives. But it's absolutely normal to have these types of dreams when something significant like that happens, because there is the loss. There is regardless of how spiritual you are or how religious you are, there is still that separation that you have to come to terms with, and the fact that you can't talk to them as physically as easily as you did before. So it's just part of the process, and it's going to show up in your dreams because it affects you so deeply.
Yeah.
So there's no insights.
Do you believe that the hair, the changing of my hair, the color and the style is about change in my life that I need to have happen?
Going to the hairdresser is asking you to change how you think, but your hair being cut, already being cut, is about thoughts being restricted. So your way of thinking is being restricted. But if a parent just died, then it is going to mess with your thoughts. I mean, there's no way it won't. But the blonde hair is a request to have purity of thought with regard to this. So if you have a choice, you can be angry about it, you can be sad, you can be lots of different things, but the blonde hair asks you to be pure with regard to your thoughts about it. It's unusual to see in a dream, unless you're getting it dyed, which is not good in a dream to get your hair dyed blonde, but to have blonde hair is kind of unusual in a dream, and it's always positive because it shows that you have the potential for that purity of thought.
Now, what does the dyeing signify then, having it dyed?
Well, you didn't have it dyed, so we're not going to spoil this dream by saying that. Let somebody send a dream in with dyed hair, and then we will decide whether we say what it means or not.
That's very interesting, because around the death of a parent, because of that, I had some sibling dissension, so that would be the not good thoughts.
Yeah. And I can relate to that. My own mom just passed away in December, and there's always friction left behind because how it affects people differently. So.
Exactly. Oh, thank you. That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thanks for your call, Susie. And we're going to take another quick break. I'm back with you in a moment.
How clear is your vision for your life? Are you living on purpose, bringing your dreams to reality? I can help you to hear the quiet voice of your heart, guiding you in the right direction. I'm Susan Pullen with True Radiance Healing Arts. Let's talk about how you can create the life you want and be the person you were born to be. Contact me today at true-radiance.com.
Hello, this is Heidi. How can I help you?
You tell me. You're the psychic.
That's not how it works. I am a medium. I connect to your spirit guides and loved ones and pass on their messages to you.
So why did I call? Use the force, Heidi.
Look, I can get answers to any questions you ask. That's not a problem. They can be about anything: relationships, career, children, finances, anything.
Anything? Okay. What's my favorite color?
Dave, your mom says you're being childish.
For readings with Heidi, go to angelsontheline.com.
Alternative to what? Alternative to everything else out there on the radio. Alternative Talk 1150 AM.
Welcome back to So You Think You're Awake. We're laughing at that last part. The show about dreams, guidance and healing. Our phone number is 425-373-5527 if you want to call very quickly. So let's have a look at another dream. Very short one. My son had a dream that he was driving a truck above power lines and finding peace knowing that once he landed, he would die of electric ions. What does this mean? Well,
electric ions, electrolytes? Am I right? That's me guessing.
Heidi's in school for, she's in medical school. So we watch House together. And what I've started doing is secretly watching it in the next room because she diagnoses all the patients before House does on the show.
I just looked up the shows and stuff.
No, I'm just kidding. But you do, so because it's an interest to you. So here, no, it's about, because it's a high location, it's about the spiritual side, so it's not physical. So the dreamer has a hands-on healing ability, which is what the the power lines symbolize. And driving the truck is saying this is meant to be his career. He's meant to be working at doing hands-on healing. And, of course, the landing and dying is typical. We see this, not necessarily the death, but the reluctance to engage our spiritual abilities. So whatever our gift is, that's the one we don't want, usually, until we really embrace it. So, of course, our life is about us growing in awareness, and we instinctively know, we know at a soul level that in developing and using the whatever ability we have and whatever ability our dreams reveal, that's going to make us, force us to deal with ourselves or deal with issues that we need to deal with. So this person knows this instinctively and, of course, is reluctant to get into it. But it's not about physical death. It's about that healing ability. So we have, well, we don't. I was going to say we have somebody on the line. We do, but we'll wait for Eric to get back in the room before we can answer that one. So let's have a look at another short one. Speaking of spiritual gifts, I was in a really crowded city crossing a street against crowds of people. Some were leaving to play in a Scottish pipe band. So a Scottish pipe band tells us straight away it's about channeling for this dreamer. A young couple was there. One was going with the band and one wasn't, but they were amicable. So this is about differences in attitude towards spirituality, one going with it and one not. In another part, I was in a large, dim dining area with crowds of people. 2 eyeglasses were on the table. So we have the glasses here are going to say that the dreamer is clairvoyant, gets their information from the guides through images. A little girl showed up and someone gave her a gift. So this is definitely about spiritual gifts. That's why I was able to say earlier that it's about channeling, because I saw this dream already. She said, oh, and I wanted a spiritual gift, which is good to see in a dream, that the dreamer's awareness is quite high. When I was leaving the place, I grabbed the hat off a man. His girlfriend yelled, hey, she took your hat. I claimed I thought it was mine. I couldn't see very well in the dark. Then my 33-year-old son was going in the garage to tell me something about his 20-year-old brother. I don't know if there's anything in these parts. My son, 33, had a headache and was deciding if he should take 3 or 4 ibuprofen. And she was washing apples. Okay, no. So we'll skip that bit. We're going to go to the calls. But just to emphasize, she has a clairvoyant channeling ability, and that's really what the dream is about. And the harmony or lack of harmony, which is what the girlfriend and the man, grabbing the hat off them and so on, and not seeing in the dark. So there's things going on now that are causing you to find it difficult to see, which is the opposite of the glasses.
We did a dream of that same dreamers last week with glasses too, right?
With
the triangle glasses.
Triangle glasses. Okay, very good. Yeah. All right. So we have April on the line. April has a dream. Hi, April.
Hi, can you hear me all right?
We can hear you just fine. What's your dream?
Okay, so I had a dream last night about a snake as well, and I'll try to remember as many details as possible. I was at a conference or a convention, and everyone there was in workshops, and we were being instructed, we were sort of cleaning up after dinner, and some people, we were being instructed about working together, and I was at a large sink that was sort of like a trough, and I can remember washing a plastic container, and there was a woman there, and she started telling us, talking to us about the work and saying that it doesn't have to be miserable. For example, she saw a man press his wrist into his wife, and for some reason that was very beautiful, and I understood that was a beautiful way.
What did he press his wrists into?
His wife.
Just okay.
Some part of her body, like her hip or something.
Yeah.
But he pressed his wrist against his wife, and that was beautiful for some reason. And she also said that, well, I was almost finished with my work, and she said that I didn't have to go and help other people with their jobs. I could just enjoy my own activity after I was done with my work, which was a great relief because I was thinking that we needed to get the jobs done, get it done quickly. So if I was done with my work, I could help others and it'd speed up the whole process. So I didn't have to do that. I could just enjoy myself when my work was done. And then she pulled a small green snake out of the dishwater, and it had a white tag around its belly, and I understood that it was my job to get it out of the conference. So I acted like a sheep herding dog. I was stomping my feet to try to get it, to chase it towards the door. And I got it outside, but it wanted back in. So I had to pick it up, and it bit me in the forearm. And I took it across the street and put it in a ditch. And that's all I think I can remember right now.
Okay.
So are you taking a class, a healing class?
No, but my boyfriend has a terrible back right now, and I was rubbing his back last night and thinking about how I should maybe be putting some energy into it.
Okay, well, I think it's telling you that it's not particularly your job. But also the healing, it's saying in order to be an effective healer, you need to get in touch with your feminine side, is what I'm hearing. Is that the tone of the dream, Michael? Just want to check with you. But also, yeah, and then the snake, I feel like they're saying putting the snake in the ditch is not a good thing.
No, you should have killed it.
Yeah. So, but you're able to do this, April. You're able to go into that meditative state and kind of go back into the dream and kill that snake. You can do that. That will work. I mean, do that when you hang up the phone.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Absolutely. That's what I do.
So,
and then the cleaning the dishes, is that
yeah, your diet. I think you've said to us before that, I've improved my diet and now we've caught you.
Yeah, I'm not, my discipline is not strong.
So are you drinking water out of plastic bottles all the time, constantly?
Not constantly, but we have a water filter that it's stored in a a reverse osmosis water. It's stored in like a 3-gallon.
Is it due for a change?
What's that?
Is it due for a change? Do you need to change?
The filter is due for a change.
Yeah, you need to change that filter because it's affecting your kidneys.
Oh, wow.
Okay, well, anyway, the cleaning up is good. The plastic is saying that you're eating junk because plastic is a man-made substance. And we know it's connected with eating because you mentioned the belly and you mentioned that the snake bit you. And then you put the snake in the ditch, which is where it wants to go. It's like letting it into the kitchen. But not letting it back into the house is really good. So this is, you're playing the role of an antibody in your dream. And you're saying, I'm chasing this off. But it's good. Just do the meditation and kill the snake. And then you have closure on that one.
Kill the snake.
Okay.
All right.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Thanks, April. And
Bye.
Very quickly, we go to Abby in Seattle. Hi, Abby. Hello, Abby. Can you hear us now?
Hi. Yes. Can you hear me?
We can. And it says here you have a question for Heidi.
Yeah. Well, thank you for doing what you do. I love this show. Hi, Heidi.
Hello.
I'm just curious about just my life, obviously. But, I've just been feeling really lost and in limbo. And I do believe my dreams are telling me stuff like that, and I've gotten out of the habit of writing them down every day, and I know I need to get back into that habit. But I just wanted to know if my spirit guides had any messages about the direction I'm going in my life, because I just feel.
Did you just recently have a breakup?
A breakup?
Yeah.
Oh my God, no! Oh, that's my biggest.
Are you
fear.
worried about your relationship and the direction it's going?
That's one thing.
Okay. They're
sure.
saying you're feeling of, I guess, is this the word, morbidity? You're feeling very morbid, and because you're placing your life purpose on your relationship, and nobody should ever do that. Not just that you shouldn't do that, nobody should ever do that, but certainly you shouldn't do that because you're uncertain about your partner's devotion to you anyway, and how far this will continue to go in, and that's why you're kind of like you're not. Esther Hicks always says this: you're not in alignment with yourself. You want to achieve one thing, but you want to base it off of your relationship, and you can't do that.
Wow. Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
So what they're asking you to do, if they're not saying your relationship is going to fail or whatever, they're saying that this is your fear that you're having, okay? That you need to move beyond that and see what do you want to do and how can you achieve that without relying on this backbone that you're creating for yourself. Because it's not going to work if you feel it must work this way. It's not going to work that way.
Wow. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I wish I
It's
knew.
just general miserable feelings that people get. It's like these daunting feelings that you're kind of putting there. They're kind of manifesting out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So to move beyond that is to really just look at yourself. Like your self-worth is not based off of anybody else, including your relationship. But a lot of books you've read recently or you've been told that a happy relationship equals a happy life. That is not necessarily true.
Oh yeah, no, I know it's an inside job. Thank you for that reminder for sure. Yeah. I just need to figure out what direction to go in my life, period. For sure.
Okay, well, that's about all the time we have there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Abby.
We're going to leave it at that for this week, and we're going to use your quote, "Life is an inside job." I love that. So thanks, Abby, for that. Thanks to Eric, our producer and engineer. Thanks to Heidi, and thanks to Susan. We will see you next week.
Thanks.